So the next topic is the importance of distinctions. So number 1, it is necessary to determine whether a particular imposition is a tax or a license fee, because some limitations apply only to one and not to the other, and for the reason that exemption from taxes may not include exemption from license fee. So, hindi pareho yung batas na ina-apply sa tax and license fee. May mga limitations or karapatan na maaaring ibigay sa tax pero hindi sa lisensya or kabaliktaran. Exemption sa isa ay hindi automatic na exemption sa isa pa. For example, isang simbahan or religious organization, pwedeng exempted na sila sa tax. So, ibig sabihin, hindi na nila kailangan magbayad ng income tax or real property tax. Pero kung yung simbahan na yun is nag-put up ng business, kailangan pa rin nilang kumuha ng business permit or license para magbayad ng kaukulang bayarin. Kaya mahalaga yung pagkakaiba kasi baka isipin ng iba na exempted na kami sa buwis, hindi na kami kailangan magbayad ng lisensya. So, mali po yun. And number 2 is, the power to regulate as an exercise of police power does not include the power to impose fees for revenue purposes. So, the amount of tax bears no relation at all at the probable cost of regulating the activity, occupation, or property being taxed. So, yung tinatawag nating police power, di ba, yun yung kapangyarihan ng government na mag-control, mag-regulate, or bawal ng mga bagay para sa kapakanan ng publiko. So, dahil dito, may karapatan silang maningil ng license fee para bayaran yung gastos sa regulation. Pero hindi dapat sobra-sobra yung singil nila sa lisensya. So, yung halaga ng license fee lang dapat yung ay tama lang o sapat lang dun sa gastusin ng government sa pag-regulate or pag-inspect at pag-monitor ng isang bagay. For example, 200 pesos lang yung pag-inspect para sa maliit na tindahan. So, hindi dapat maningil yung government ng 5,000 pesos bilang lisensya. So, dapat 200 pesos lang yung singilin nila kasi ayun lang yung nagastos nila dun sa pag-inspect at pag-monitor dun sa maliit na tindahan. So, next is number 3. An exaction, however, may be considered both a tax and a license fee. This is true in the case of car registration fees, which may be regarded as taxes even as they also serve as instrument of regulation. If the purpose of primarily revenue, or if revenue is one of the real and substantial purposes, then the exaction of property called tax. So, yung may mga singil na nagsisilbing dalawa yung layunin. Isa, para kumita ng pera para sa gobyerno. Yung pangalawa is mag-regulate or mag-control ng isang bagay or pagbibigay ng pahintulot na gawin ng isang bagay. So ang pinakamagandang example dito is pag nagbabayad tayo ng registration sa sasakyan. So, bahagi ito ng pagre-regulate ng sasakyan. So, tinitiyak nila na yung sasakyan mo is updated ang record at sumusunod sa batas. Pero bahagi rin ito ng kita ng gobyerno dahil malaking halaga ang kinokolekta nito taon-taon. Kaya yung car registration ay pwedeng ituring bilang tax at license fee ng sabay. And number 4 is, but the tax may have only a regulatory purpose. The general rule, however, is that the imposition is a tax if its primary purpose is to generate revenue and regulation is merely in incidental, but if regulation is the primary purpose, the fact that incidentally revenue is also obtained does not make the imposition a tax. So minsan may mga pagkakataon na yung tax ay ginagamit lang para mag-regulate, hindi para kumita. For example, yung tax ng alak at sigarilyo, di ba mataas yun? So ibig sabihin nun, pinipigilan nila na sobra-sobrang paggamit nito. Pero kahit na ganun, buwis pa rin ang tawag kasi ginagamit pa rin ito sa pangkalahatang kita ng government. So, the general rule, kung ang pangunahing layunin ay kumita ng pera, ito is tinatawag na tax. Kung ang pangunahing layunin ay regulation o pagkontrol lang, ito ay tinatawag na license fee.
Tax distinguished from debt. So, number one, a debt is generally based on contract, expressed or implied, while a tax is based on law. The explanation of this is that a debt arises when two parties enter into an agreement where one party agrees to repay the other. While tax does not require a contract, it is imposed by law, by the government, and it is mandatory. So, for example, humiram ako ng pera kay Generous ng 10,000 pesos. At pumayag ito na bayaran ko ito sa 3 or 3 buwan. At ito ay nakalagay sa aming kontrata. Pero ang tax naman ay hindi na kailangan ng kontrata or kasunduan dahil mandatory ito na bawat isa sa atin na kailangan mong mag-tax sa ayaw at sa gusto mo dahil nasa batas ito. Number 2 is that a debt is assignable while a tax cannot generally be assigned. An assignable debt means the creditor, the person owed the money, can transfer the right to collect the debt to someone else, called an assignee. While tax, however, are personal obligations, you cannot transfer your tax responsibility to someone else unless the law specifically allows it. For example, sa debt, may utang ako kay Generous na 1,000 pesos. And may pautang ako kay Ayla na 2,000 pesos. So, pwede kong sabihin kay Generous na kunin na lang kay Ayla yung 1,000 dahil may pera ako sa kanya. Pero sa tax naman, hindi mo pwedeng ipasa sa ibang tao yung tax mo. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin sa government na singilin na lang yung tax ko kay Generous dahil may pera ako sa kanya. Number 3, a debt may be paid in kind, while a tax generally payable in money. A debt can sometimes be settled by providing something other than money, like goods, services, or property, if both parties agree. But tax, in most cases, must be paid in money, not through barter or services, unless a law provides otherwise. For example, may utang ako kay Generous na 1 million pesos. Pwede ko siyang pag-usapan na kung pwede ay yung lupa ko na lang na nagkakahalaga ng 1 million pesos ang ibabayad ko sa kanya. Pero sa tax naman ay hindi pwedeng lupa or kung ano pa ang ibabayad mo sa tax mo dahil kailangan ay cash. A debt may be the subject of set-off or compensation, while a tax is generally not. Set-off or compensation means mutual debts between two parties can cancel each other out. Debts between individuals or companies can often be offset, while tax cannot normally be offset against claims the taxpayer has against the government. You must pay taxes even if the government owes you money. For example, mekaniko ako and may utang ako kay Jeron na 1,000 pesos. And nagpagawa siya ng motor niya sa akin. Pwede kong sabihin na yung ibabayad niya sa akin sa paggawa ko ng motor niya ay ikaltas na lang niya doon sa utang ko sa kanya. Pero sa tax naman ay hindi mo pwedeng ipakaltas na lang yung tax mo doon sa ginawa mong services or whatever na ginawa mo or binigay mo doon sa government. Number 5, a person cannot be imprisoned for non-payment of debt except when it arises from a crime, while imprisonment is a sanction for non-payment of tax except poll tax. Explanation of this is that Debts from contracts like loans or unpaid purchases generally do not lead to imprisonment. Taxes, when deliberately evaded, can lead to criminal penalties, including imprisonment, especially in cases of willful tax evasion or fraud. However, non-payment of poll tax, a flat tax on individuals, is excluded from imprisonment. For example, hindi ako nakapagbayad ng credit card bill. Pwede akong kasuhan ng korte at kunin ang aking mga ari-arian. For example, hindi ako nakapagbayad ng credit card bill. Yun nga. Pwede nilang kunin yung bahay at lupa ko or sasakyan ko. Pero hindi na ako makukulong nun. Pero pag sa tax naman at sinadya mong itago ang kita mo, sahod mo, at hindi ka nagbabayad ng iyong mga buwis, maaaring magsampa ng kasong kriminal ang BIR at maaari kang makulong dahil sa tax evasion. Number 6 is that a debt is governed by the ordinary periods of prescription, while a tax is governed by the special prescriptive periods provided for in the tax code. Prescription means the time limit for filing a case or collecting a debt. Or ordinary debts, civil obligations have general prescription periods under the civil code, that 10 years for written contracts, while tax follow specific prescriptive periods set by the tax code, which vary depending on the tax and situation. Example of this is that 3 years to assess from filing date and 5 years to collect. For example, sa utang, may kasunduan na aabot sa 10 taon ang pwedeng itagal ng iyong pagbabayad sa utang mo. At pag hindi ka nakapagbayad ng 10 taon, pwede ka nang kasuhan ng nagpautang sa'yo. Pero sa tax naman ay may 3 hanggang 5 taon ang itatagal para mabayadan mo ito. At pag hindi mo ito nabayadan sa taon na yon ay pwede ka nang kasuhan ng BIR. Number 7, a debt draws interest when it is stipulated or when there is default, while tax does not draw interest except only when delinquent. A debt can have interest if the contract stipulates it or if the debtor is in default or late payment. Legal interest may be imposed, but in taxes don't earn interest until you are delinquent, overdue, or unpaid. Only then does the law impose interest and penalties. For example, humiram ka ng 20,000 na may 10% per year. Dapat kang magbayad ng interest kahit na nagbayad ka sa saktong petsa ayon sa kontrata nyo. Pero pag sa buwis naman ay walang sinisingil na interest. Pero kung makalampas ka sa deadline mo, ang BIR ay magpapataw ng interest at mga parusa na hindi nababayaran ng mga halaga. A tax, however, like a debt, is a liability or obligation in Article 1157 Civil Code. Taxes cannot be the subject to compensation or set off for the simple reason by the government, and the taxpayer are not creditors and debtors for each other. Obligations in the nature of debts are due to the government in its corporate capacity, while taxes are due to the government in its sovereign capacity. The exception to the general rule regarding set-off is where both the claims of the government and the taxpayer against each other have already become due and demandable as well as fully liquidated. Thus, a taxpayer who has been assessed municipal taxes may assign in favor of the municipality a final judgment obtained by him against the said municipality to cover the assessment. So, hindi maaaring gamiting pambayad or compensation o set-off sa buwis ang utang ng gobyerno sa isang taxpayer. Dahil ang buwis ay hindi simpleng utang, kundi isang obligasyon ng mamamayan sa pamahalaan bilang isang sovereign o may kapangyarihang estado. Ang buwis ay hindi katulad ng karaniwang pagkakautang na pwedeng ipagtabi or ikaltas na lang. Iba ang buwis kaysa sa utang ng gobyerno sa iyo. Ang buwis ay bayad mo bilang tungkulin sa bayan or sovereign capacity ng government. At ang utang naman ng gobyerno ay parang business transaction, corporate capacity ng government.
Tax distinguished from other terms. So first is subsidy. It is a pecuniary aid directly granted by the government to an individual or private commercial enterprise deemed beneficial to the public. A subsidy therefore is not a tax, although a tax may have to be imposed to pay it. So ito ay parang tulong pinansyal mula sa gobyerno. Halimbawa, kung gusto ng gobyerno na bumaba ang presyo ng bigas, magbibigay sila ng pera sa mga company para mapababa ang presyo. Pero tandaan, hindi ito buwis. Ito ay tulong. Minsan, yung tax na kinokolekta ng government, ginagamit para pondohan ang mga subsidy na ganito. So, next is revenue. It refers to all the funds or income derived from the government, whether from tax or from whatever source and whatever manner. The term, however, refers more to income derived from the regular system of taxation and, as such, accrues more or less regularly every year. While revenue refers to the amount collected, tax refers to the amount imposed. So, ito naman yung kabuuang kita o perang pumapasok sa government. Pwedeng galing ito sa tax o kaya sa ibang source. Pero madalas, kapag naririnig natin ang word na revenue, ang tinutukoy talaga ay yung regular na kita mula sa BIS, taon-taon. So, parang ganito, kung maitindahan ng government si tax sa isang item na binebenta, pero si revenue ay ang total na kinikita ng buong tindahan. So, bukod sa tax, may ibang pinagkukuhanan ng pera ang government. So, ito yung mga halimbawa. Like yung grants, financial assistance by one government, tulong mula sa ibang bansa. And then, donation, bigay ng mga private groups or NGOs. Loans, perang hiniram ng government. And commercial revenues, those received by government-owned or controlled enterprises like yung toll, tubig, o interest. Administrative revenues, gaya ng mga multa, penalties, or forfeitures. So, hindi lang po tax ang source ng government funds. So, third is internal revenue. It refers to taxes imposed by the legislature other than duties on imports and exports. So, ito yung mga bis na kinokolekta sa bansa, sa loob ng bansa. Hindi kasama dito ang bis sa import or export. Halimbawa, income tax, value added tax, excise tax, lahat yan under internal revenue, galing sa loob, kaya internal. So, fourth is custom duties or simply duties. They are taxes imposed on goods exported from or exported into a country. The term taxes is broadened in scope as it includes custom duties. So, ang custom duties ay buwis naman para sa mga product na pumapasok o lumalabas ng bansa. So, kung ma-in-order tayo online, galing ibang bansa, may tinatawag na custom tax. Yun yung custom duties. Isa din itong klase ng tax pero specific sa imports and exports.
Concept of power of eminent domain. The power of eminent domain is the power of the state or those to whom the power has been delegated to take private property for public use, often paying to the owner a just compensation to be as certain according to the law. So, when we say power of eminent domain, ito po isang kapangyarihan ng government na kung saan kumukuha ng mga private property for public use. So, the conditions imposed by the constitutions for its exercise. Number 1, the extent of public use for the taking. So, sabi dyan is, dapat gamitin ito para sa kapakanan ng nakakarami. So, like for example po, sa paggawa ng bagong hospital or public park. Number 2, the payment of just compensations. So, when we say just compensations, dapat bayadan ng government ang may-ari ng lupa sa tamang presyo nito. Hindi pwedeng basta-bastang kukunin ang lupa nang walang kabayaran. Then number 3, the observance of due process in the taking. So, anong ibig sabihin po ng due process? Dapat legal ang proseso. Kailangan may abiso or paalala sa may-ari and then duman ito sa tamang hakbang ng batas. So like for example po, meron kang isang lupa sa gilid ng highway. So ngayon, balak ng government na gumawa ng bagong public hospitals para sa mga taga-lugar. So dahil ito is para sa public use, pwedeng gamitin ng government ang eminent domain. Pero kailangan kanilang bayaran sa tamang halaga ng lupa, which is the just compensation. Then, dapat din maayos na proseso, may abiso or legal na document at hindi sapat. So, kung wala yung tatlo na yan is valid po, labag sa batas ang paggamit ng eminent domain.
Concept of police power. Police power has been referred to as the power of the state to enact such law in relation to persons and property as may promote public health, public morals, public safety, and the general prosperity and welfare of its inhabitants. This power springs from the obligation of the state to protect its citizens and provide for the safety and welfare of society. Illustration of police power laws are those requiring a vagrancy and prostitution, regulating the use of traffic on roads, requiring for zoning regulations, regulating prices of commodities and rents of apartments, and authorizing the removal of billboards offensive to sight. So, ang ibig sabihin lang ng police power ay ito yung kapangyarihan ng government na gumawa ng mga batas na may kinalaman sa tao at ari-arian para sa ikabubuti ng nakakarami. Ginagamit ito para maprotektahan ang kalusugan ng publiko, moralidad, kaligtasan at kapakanan ng mga mamamayan. Halimbawa po nito, pagkuha ng lisensya bago mag-practice ng medisina, pagpaparusa sa prostitution or vagrancy, pagkontrol ng traffic at pagbibigay ng driver's license, pagre-regulate ng presyo at renta, at pati pagtanggal ng mga billboard na bastos o nakakainsulto. So, lahat po ng yan ay ginawa ng government hindi para manghimasok, kundi para sa kapakanan ng mas nakararami. Kaya parte po yan ng tinatawag nating police power.
The next topic is similarities among taxation, eminent domain, and police power. So, the similarities are as follows. So first is they all rest upon necessity because there can be no effective government without them. So ito ay foundation on necessity for governance. All three powers are essential to the existence and functioning ng effective government. Without them, the state hindi nila mapupulfill yung responsibility nila to provide public services, maintain peace and order, or promote the general welfare o pangkalahatang kapakanan. So, without them nga, it cannot raise money or build infrastructures, mga ganun. So second, they all underlie and exist independently of the Constitution, although the condition for their exercise may be prescribed by the Constitution and by law. Three powers are inherent attributes to sovereignty, meaning inborn siya. They exist naturally sa state of authority, while constitution or laws may regulate their use. The power themselves are not created by the constitution. Nag-exist sila because the state exists. So the third one, they are ways by which the state interferes with private rights and property. So each power involves state intervention in private affairs. Una, yung taxation. Imposes or napapataw ng financial burden o pasanin sa mga individuals and businesses. It takes part of private wealth for public use. Sa eminent domain naman, allows the taking or pagkuha ng mga private property para sa public use with compensation or bayad. Sa police power naman is enables regulation behavior o nagbibigay daan or way at paggamit ng property to protect us sa public welfare or kapakanan ng mga publiko. It is for public safety. Pang-apat, they are legislative in nature and character, although the actual exercise of the power is given to execute authorities, national or local. And yun nga, they are created by law but came out by government agencies. These three powers basically legislative authority kasi they involves setting rules or policies. However, executive agencies, local or national, sila yung madalas na nag-implement and nag-enforce ng mga rules and policies. And the last one is they all presuppose of an equivalent compensation received directly or indirectly by the persons affected by the exercise of the powers by the government. So, assumption of equivalent compensation or benefits daw. They assume na ang people affected get something in return. So, although the form of or form varies or iba-iba sila ng the exercise of each power presume some benefits or compensation. So, sa taxation, mga public services funded by taxes benefit society as a whole. Yung sa eminent domain, the Constitution requires just compensation or bayad sa mga owner. And the police power, although na no direct compensation is given, it assumes na yung regulation protects or promotes ng public welfare or kapakanan natin or ng publiko, which is indirectly benefits all.
And the next is distinction among the three powers or the different among the three powers. So ano nga ba yung three inherent powers of the state? Yung una is police power, and pangalawa is power of taxation, and dyan yung pangatlo is yung power of eminent domain. So ano nga ba yung police power? So yung police power is ito yung may power yung government na mag-regulate or mag-control ng isang bagay. And yung power of taxation naman, ito yung power ng government para mag-collect ng tax. While yung pangatlong power, which is power of eminent domain naman, ito yung may power yung government na kunin yung private property because gagamitin for public uses. For example, gagamitin siya for road widening, pwede din siyang gamitin sa pagpapatayo ng tulay, or pwede din siyang gamitin sa paggawa ng public school. So ito, pwedeng kunin yung property mo sa ayaw at sa gusto mo kasi nga for public uses. So number 1, as to authority which is exercises the power. So dito malalaman natin kung sino nga ba yung may kapangyarihan sa tatlong inherent powers of the state. Unahin na natin yung taxation and police power. Taxation and police power may be exercised only by the government or its political subdivisions. So, sa taxation and police power, tanging government lang yung may pwedeng gumamit ng kapangyarihang ito. Maaaring local government or national government. And the exercise of the power of eminent domain may be granted to public service companies or public utilities. So dito sa power of eminent domain, pwedeng ipahiram ng government yung power nila sa mga public company. Tulad na lang nung mga company na nagbibigay ng kuryente, tubig, or yung gumagawa ng railes, at iba pang public company. And number 2 is as to purpose. So ito naman kung ano yung purpose ng tatlong inherent powers. Unahin na natin si taxation. Taxation, the property generally in the form of money is taken for the support of the government. So, kumukuha sila ng tax or pera mula sa atin upang mapondohan yung serbisyo ng gobyerno. And yung eminent domain naman, the property is taken for public use, hence it must be compensated. So ito naman, kinukuha ng government yung private property ng isang tao for public use. For example, daan, tulay, paaralan. Pero it must be compensated or may kapalit naman na bayad yung pagkuha ng property mo. And letter C naman, yung police power. Police power, the use of property is regulated for the purpose of promoting the general welfare. Hence, it is not compensable. So, ito naman is hindi kinukuha yung property, kundi kinokontrol yung paggamit nito para sa kapakanan ng lahat. So, ito naman is walang bayad sa may-ari ng property kahit na naapektuhan siya. And next is number 3, as to persons affected. Kung sino yung taong apektado nito. Unahin na natin yung taxation and police power. Letter A. Taxation and police power operate upon a community or a class of individuals. So, ibig sabihin, maraming tao yung maapektuhan nito. So, pwedeng isang community or isang grupo. And letter B, yung eminent domain naman, operates on an individual as the owner of a particular property. So, yung apektado lang nito is yung mismong may-ari ng property na kinuha ng government. And number 4 is as to effect. So, yung tatlong yung epekto ng tatlong inherent powers. Una na dyan yung taxation. The money contributed in the concept of taxes become part of the public funds. So, yung perang kinokolekta ng government is napupunta yun sa kaban ng bayan or tinatawag nating public funds. And letter B naman, eminent domain. There is a transfer of the right to property, whether it to be of ownership or a lesser right. So, ito naman is yung paglipat ng property mula sa private owner papuntang government or public company. And the last is letter C, police power. There is no transfer of title. At most, there is restraint on the injurious use of property. So, ito naman is walang paglilipat ng property pero pwedeng pagbawalan yung isang tao na gamitin yung property niya sa paraang makakasama sa iba.
In distinction among the three powers, sa number 5, as to benefits received. In taxation, it is assumed that the individual receives the equivalent of the tax in the form of protection and benefits he receives from the government. As such, as when the government taxes individuals, it does not give them a direct return of money. Instead, it is assumed that taxpayers benefit indirectly from public service like roads, education, defense, and healthcare. So, for example, nagbabayad ka ng buwis sa kita bawat taon. Hindi ka nakakatanggap ng cheque or refund na katumbas ng binayaran mo. Pero nakakatulong ang iyong buwis na pondohan ang mga pampublikong paaralan sa paggawa ng kalsada, yung mga pulis at mga ospital na ginagamit mo at ng iba pa sa lipunan. In B, in eminent domain, he receives the market value of the property taken from him. When the government takes private property for public use, like to build a road or a school, this is called eminent domain. However, the owner must be given just compensation, usually the fair market value of the property. For example, may project ang government na tulay and masasakop ng project yung bahay mo. So, yung government ay babayaran ka nila depende kung gaano kalaki or kung ano ang presyo ng pinanggawa mo sa bahay mo. Depende sa kasalukuyang presyo sa marketplace. And maaring ayaw mong magbenta, ngunit binabayaran ka ng patas kaya legal ang pagkuha or pagbili ng iyong property. In police power, the person affected receives no direct and immediate benefit but only such as may arise from the maintenance of a health economic standard of society and is often referred to as damnum obscuria, damage without injury. This is the government's authority to pass laws for the health, safety, morals, and welfare of the people. And someone suffers as a loss due to a valid law of regulation. They are not compensated because the act is legal and done for the greater public good. For example, ang isang lungsod ay nagpasa ng isang batas na nagbabawal sa isang malaking pabrika na malapit sa lugar ng kanilang pinagtitirhan. Kung nagmamay-ari ka ng pabrika sa lugar na yon ay maaring kailanganin mong isara or lumipat na lang ng ibang lugar at wala kang babayaran dahil nilayon ng batas na protektahan ang kalusugan ng public dun sa lugar na yon. Kahit na malugi ka, wala kang magagawa. In number 6, as to amount of imposition. In taxation, there is generally no limit on the amount of tax that may be imposed. In taxation, there is generally no fixed limit to how much the tax the government can impose, as long as it is enacted by law and for a public purpose. This flexibility is necessarily so that government can meet its budgetary needs. Kunwari, itinas ng government ang excise tax sa mga sigarilyo mula 35 pesos hanggang 50 pesos kada pakete na para pondohan ang universal healthcare. Walang limitasyon sa konstitusyon kung magkano ang maaring maging buwis na ito, basta sumusunod ito sa mga legal na pamamaraan. In eminent domain, there is no amount imposed but rather the owner is paid the market value of the property taken. In the eminent domain, the state does not impose any amount on the citizen. Instead, the government pays the owner the fair market value of the property being taken for public use. Katulad nung sa number 5 sa eminent sa number 5 din na eminent domain. But for example, kung kukunin ng gobyerno yung lupa mo upang itayo yung isang public hospital, dapat itong bayaran sa iyong ng kasalukuyang market value ng iyong lupa, yung katulad ng pagpapagawa mo doon. In police power, the amount imposed should not be more than sufficient to cover the cost of the license and the necessary expenses of police surveillance and inspection, examination or regulation as nearly as the same can be estimated. In the exercise of police power, any fee or charge must only be enough to cover the cost of issuing the license, conducting inspection or surveillance. For example, ang isang pamalang ay naniningil ng 500 pesos na business permit para sa isang malit na tindahan. Ang bayad na iyon ay dapat sakto sa halaga ng pagparasis ng permit at pag-inspection sa tindahan. Kung ang government ay naniningil ng 10,000 pesos, ngunit ang totoong halaga nito ay 500 lamang, yun ay maaaring hindi wasto dahil ito ay lumampas na sa tamang pagsisingil nila. Number 7, as to relationship to the Constitution. The taxing power is subject to certain constitutional limitations, including the prohibition against the impairment of the obligation of contracts. The government cannot use its power to tax in a way that violates the Constitution, including the prohibition on impairment of contracts. For example, ang isang dayuhang kumpanya, like for example is Japanese company, ay binibigyan ng 10 na taon para sa tax exemption ng gobyerno sa pamamagitan ng isang formal na kontrata. Kung ang Congress ay nagpasa ng batas sa panahon yun na nagpapataw ng bagong buwis na nag-alis ng exemption, ito ay maaaring ituring na isang labag sa konstitusyon na pagpapahina ng kontrata. In letter B, eminent domain is also inferior to the impairment prohibition so that the government cannot expropriate property which under a contract it had previously bound itself to purchase from the other contracting party. Even the power of eminent domain must respect contractual obligations. If the government enters into a contract to buy property under agreed terms, it cannot later avoid the contract by simply expropriating the same property using eminent domain. For example, pumirma ang gobyerno ng kontrata para bumili ng pribadong lote sa halagang 5 million na babayaran sa loob ng 6 na buwan. Bago ang pagbabayad, sinusubukan ng gobyerno na cancelin ang deal at sa halip ay i-expropriate ang lupa. And ang batas na ito ay lumalabag sa original na kontrata at pinapayagan ito ay isang wastong paggamit ng eminent domain. In letter C, police power is relatively free from constitutional limitations and is superior of the impairment provisions. In appropriate cases, the constitutional injunction against impairment of the obligation of contracts cannot be invoked as against the right of the state to exercise its police power. Unlike taxation and eminent domain, police power is considered superior to contractual obligations because it deals with public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. The government can change or invalidate private contracts if it's necessary to protect the public interest. For example, isang private na negosyo ay may 20 na taon na kontrata sa pag-upa upang magpatakbo ng isang nightclub. Pagkaraan ng ilang taon, ang lokal na pamahalaan ay nagpasa ng isang zoning ordinance na nagbabawal ng nightclub sa lugar na iyon upang protektahan ang pampublikong moral at kaligtasan. Kahit na valid ang kontrata ng nightclub na yun, ay dapat magsara ito dahil nandun sa pinasang ordinansa ng local na yon. Taxation and public finance. Public finance refers to the financial operations of all levels of the government. Such operations including budgeting, taxing, appropriating, purchasing, borrowing, disbursing funds, and regulating the currency. So, taxation is merely a part of public finance. Ang public finance ay tumutukoy sa lahat ng gawaing pinansyal ng pamahalaan sa lahat ng antas pambansa or sa lalawigan at lokal. Binubuo ito ng pamamahala at paggamit ng pera ng gobyerno upang matustusan ang mga pangangailangan ng bayan. Kasama sa public finance ang mga sumusunod na gawain tulad ng pagbabudget, paggawa ng plano kung paano gastusin ang pondo, pagbubuwis, taxing, pangungulekta ng buwis mula sa mamamayan, paglalaan ng pondo, appropriating, pagtukoy kung saan ilalaan ang pera, kunwari sa halimbawa na lang sa edukasyon or sa kalusugan ng mga tao, pagbili, purchasing, paggamit ng pondo sa pagbili ng mga kagamitan o serbisyo.